Praise be to Jesus. But we want to thank you for this opportunity. We're coming to you live from DC Imara International, this youth ministry. So before we go further, I'll allow Brother Yeshua to pray for us. Let's pray.
Mighty and everlasting Father, we thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you've given to us. King of glory, whatever we shall share here in this forum, not to pray that Jesus, they shall be beneficial to us and to everyone who shall hear it. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. So we'll do introduction. We'll start from my far left in that sequence.
My name is Joshua.
And I'm Nancy Odo.
Thank you so much. So I'll introduce the topic, then we will share whatever knowledge God has given us. The topic we'll be talking about mental health, and this is because currently we are going through a lot of stuff, COVID included, and this has caused so many people to go through mental health problems. And that's why we thought it wise to just come and share whatever little knowledge we have on mental health and to create more of awareness of the same. So before we go further, I'll read, if you allow me, I'll read the World Health Organization definition for mental health. Mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and faithfully, and is able to make contributions to his or her community. That is according to the World Health Organization. That is their definition for mental health. And we realize that mental health includes we have the emotional, the psychological, and the physical well-being of an individual. So if you allow me, I'll allow my fellow colleagues to just share what they understand with mental health. Ladies first.
Thank you very much. So what I would say is mental health is when you have this, as you have mentioned, the psychological and mental disorder, and put it that way. So you might feel like, you behave abnormally, like maybe you've been doing things this way, and then you realize that maybe you're a bit unstable, you're doing things, and then you are forgetting them. That is now mental health. Like you feel like you are under mental health disorders. Like maybe you're not just stable. Those are the things that you'll be looking for mental health. And right now with this current situation that we are in, with the COVID, all of this going on, people have lost their jobs. Others maybe they can't even afford maybe to bring food on the table and all that. So you find yourself that the things that you're not used to, like maybe staying at home, so you find that you're not used to this kind of lifestyle. Then you won't even realize that maybe you have this, you are mentally unstable and all that. So those are the signs maybe you might find that you need to do something about it. Yeah, so that's what we mean.
Thank you so much, Brother Joshua.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo what she said. And mental health, really, when you ask a question generally, the answer you get mostly always tends to lean towards the negative. So when you speak of mental health, people see the negative mental health aspects. And so, like she said, it's about being unstable. Like when you speak of health, people think of sickness. So in the same way, I guess when you speak of mental health, that mainly we touch on being unstable in the mind, or not being at 100% in the state of your mind.
That was great. You may have your definition from wherever you are, so you can also comment down and share with us now what's your understanding of mental health. And I would like to add something. there's mental health, and then there's mental illness. Yeah. So mental health, as I read the definition of World Health Organization, when you are in that state whereby you are emotionally stable, you are psychologically stable, and there's that physical well-being, everything is stable, that's when you're now mentally healthy. Yeah? But then there's when you are not stable, things are changing. The way she explained, maybe you used to do things in a certain way, now then all of a sudden you started abusing, for example, drugs, or you are doing things abnormally, then it means you are in a state, you're having a mental health problem, or you're mentally ill. Yeah? So I'll ask Nancy to share with us what are these early signs of mental health problem? What are these signs? Whenever I see the signs, I should just be careful and say, hey man, maybe I have mental health problem, or I'm mentally ill. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brother Felix. So there are several signs of mental health problems, but I'll just base on the major ones, the common ones, that you'll be able to just, when I mention them, just like, I think I have this mental disease. So one is like, for example, you'll find yourself that you're excusing yourself from others. Maybe you are a social person, and then you find like you just want your alone time. You're not an introvert, but you just like having your time alone. That is the first sign to know that now you have a mental health disorder. You've already been affected. And then again, you find that you just eat too much. And I'll use my example. Like there was a time that I was feeling sick, literally sick. But when I went to see a doctor, he told me there's nothing wrong with you. So he started counseling me and all that, just to see if there is something wrong internally. So that could be that I was already going towards that. I was already having the mental health disorder. So the doctor tried just to help me to come back to normal. Then everything went downward. So you might find that you're feeling like you're sick, and in real sense you ain't sick. So those are the signs of mental health disorder. This is the disease. And then you're sleeping too much or too little, and then you're just sad, and then sometimes you get physical. You're just ready for war. You don't even somebody just provokes you a little while, and then you're like, huh? You're the Tyson of the area. You just want to be the Tyson. Now those are the signs to look up to. Like if you just find that you're always aggressive, just know, and that wasn't you. So just know that you are now, those are the signs to look for. And then again, I can say, maybe you are asleep, you don't sleep at night, yeah, you lose of appetite, you can't eat. Those are the signs to look for. Especially for the youth, you'll find that you are an outgoing person, but you realize that you just want your alone time. You just want to stay in your cocoon, like in your small room, tiny room, whichever room that you have. You want to do your time alone. Just know that it's about time that you just seek for counseling, you seek for someone to talk to, because you are heading towards that. So if you let it stay with you, it might affect you. It might have a negative impact in your life. Yeah.
And just to add, you'll notice that mental health, when you speak of it, it sounds like a big word, but when she defines the signs, you realize that these are the things, small things that we do on a day-to-day basis, and many a times we may ignore them, many a times we may say, it's nothing. I was just sleepy today. It's nothing. It agitated me. It's nothing. I was hungry today. But sometimes you can tell that it has a deeper root. It's not just someone agitating you, because you've been agitated before and you didn't react like you did. So sometimes it's in the things we do routinely, and sometimes it's easy to miss them. It's not that big mystery word. It's in the things we do. Day-to-day lives.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you, Brother Joshua. Yeah, I would request you to talk about now the positive mental health, because when you are introducing it, you mentioned the positive part and the negative part. Yeah. So if you don't mind, then now would you share more on positive mental health and how it allows people and its benefits, let me put it that way.
Well, the mind is like the body. So when you're speaking of the health of the mind, we're speaking of a mind that is sound, where you're at 100%, where all the functions of the brains are functioning well. And it's not just about the brain, it's about all other aspects of our lives. So when everything is going on well, it will reflect outside. You'll be a jovial person. Like she said, withdrawal. Now you'll not be withdrawn, you'll be more into people, you'll be talking, you'll show emotion, you'll want to get involved in stuff. It shows in our lives. You'll be positive in your interactions, in your words. You see, when you want to say a person is healthy mentally, you listen to how they speak. And I'm not really saying that you don't have to be critical, but in a sense, you're critical, but in a positive way. You're positive in life, your outlook in life is positive. When you're speaking to people, they can tell that you have a positive outlook towards life. So mainly when you want to see a positive mindset, a positive mental state, it mainly shows on the character of a person. That, yeah, my finances are not well there, but the way I talk about them can show you that I am well, that is not affecting me that much. Yeah.
Thank you. Nancy, do you have something to add to this?
Yeah, just to add, like to echo my brother, so I would say, yeah, I normally like to give real life examples just to back up whatever I say. Like you might find that maybe in you at workplace, whereby you find that you are willing to do everything. Like we do this, we want to take care of it. Maybe you're organizing a team building or a team meetup or whatever team activity, but you're willing like to volunteer for everything. You find like, who will get us maybe the venue for lunch? I'll do that. Who will prepare the PowerPoint? I'll do that. Like you're just ready to do everything. And then there is this one person who like sits back and relaxes, like, can you get over and done with this thing? We go home. So you see, these are two different types of people. There's this one who's in the positive side of it, and there is this other one who's in the negative side of it. So you might think that this other one is an introvert or the other one is an extrovert, but in real sense, maybe this person is going through something that just like that is affecting this person to be this way. It could be maybe you are tortured somewhere, you are tormented in your childhood lifestyle. So and this one is not recurring, it's not coming back. Maybe you were raped or something that could have triggered that in you. So just look out for these things and then you can seek for medical attention or maybe a counselor or something, then everything will be okay.
Thank you so much. I think if I got what you're trying to say is that somebody who is positively mentally healthy is somebody who is very productive at work, according to the way you mentioned, who give these contributions to their workplace.
An all-round person.
An all-round person.
Yeah, in all aspects.
So, on the same, for employers and even families, it is good to have people who are mentally stable, who are healthy mentally, because you mentioned about productivity. So it means if you have employees who are mentally ill or have mental problems, then they will not be productive. Is that it?
And you know, sometimes back there was an employee at PwC who threw himself. You remember?
Yeah.
That could have been a mental health issue that you didn't even speak about it. And this one normally affects the male gender because they don't like speaking out. At least ladies speak out a lot. So when these things becomes too much, just think of suicide and then that's it. Boom.
Thank you so much. Allow me to ask this question. To start with Joshua, then maybe Nancy, you can come in. What are some of the ways of maintaining positive mental health?
Ways of maintaining positive mental health, I'd say, one, you try to stay positive, you try to do personal affirmations and tell yourself positive, like view yourself in a positive way, don't describe yourself in a negative wrinkles, words of power. Secondly, if you feel you're drifting, because it's not a sudden thing, if you feel you're drifting, it's advisable to speak to someone, to tell them, I feel this way, or you see, sometimes it's not so clear how you can explain it, because it's so subtle, you cannot like see it from the onset. So I would say from the onset, you can try speaking to someone. If it's advanced, you can try speaking to someone. You can avoid triggers. You can avoid triggers like things that like pollute your mind. You can avoid them. You can, if it's sites, you can block them. You see, sometimes these things come from, let's say, small things like social media. You post a pic and then someone throws a comment, and then that comment affects you mentally. So you can stop posting pics. If pics are the reason that your mind is not stable, you can, I like to say, go where you love. Go where you love. Stop forcing some things. Because you see some pressures come when you want to fit in with, let's say, Nancy. Nancy is a champ. But then Joshua is a two. Please go be with your fellow Jews and enjoy their company. You'll be so comfortable. Instead of trying so hard to feel the other, the hates you there. Nancy, she's a Kempinski. Oh my God. And Joshua is a Kibandaski guy. But he tries so hard to be a Kempinski person. Yet one day to just come down. So like I say, go where you love. Go where you love.
Thank you so much. Before I allow Nancy to come in, another thing of that is that it is also good to try to cope with the way it's mentioned that you go where you love. It's also good to cope with whatever is making you mad. It's very necessary. Keeping positive and try to cope with whatever makes you happy. If there's a certain company which doesn't make you happy or triggers bad things you talked about, it is good to keep or stay always where makes you happy. Nancy, kindly share or add something, please.
Thank you very much, Perez. So what I would say is just one point that I always use, like learn to meet your expectations. Once you have that in mind, everything will flow. Like challenges are there, disappointments are there. So once you manage your expectations, everything will work. If you'll be able to sustain all these challenges that you'll be facing, you won't be like you like your move will be smooth. Like you have that smooth transition, and everything will just fall into place when the right time comes. To manage your expectations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you put it so well. And I now need to ask you this. Both of you, have you gone through mental health problems? Or any of your friends, somebody from your family, friends, somebody from your side, or yourself, have you experienced mental illness?
Well, not really mental illness, but we'll all admit that we've had moments where our minds have not been at 100%. We've had disappointments, and those disappointments have drawn us down. We've been turned down and out, and they're not going to tell me that you smile when you're given a rejection letter, or when you get a rejection text, or... So yeah, I've been there. My friends have been there. It's the one thing I believe we're trying to achieve with this forum is to tell people that it's a normal thing to feel like for your mind not to be 100%. The only problem is to allow it to define you or to remain there down. So like, yeah, I've been there, I've had moments. I'm not going to say recently, because recently everyone is in a crisis. COVID is a crisis, and it's affecting all of us at different degrees. So yeah, I've been been there, my friends have been there, everyone has been there. Everyone, literally everyone has been there. So it's not about whether you've been there, it's about maintaining a positive mindset when things go south. Sorry.
Thank you so much. The truth is that most of us, we've had negative mental health issues. It's only that at times we have them, but we don't know. The way she explained, you may find that maybe you're having sleepless nights, but you just think it is normal, not knowing that that is a sign of negative mental health state. So, Nancy, have you been through the same, or a relative, or
Okay, I think we've all been through this process of saying no, and you might not even know. So I might have been doing it, but I didn't realize it, or let me say I was asymptomatic. But everyone has been through this, has experienced the mental disorder, negative mental health. So even my friends have been through it, and okay, so mental is it's a broad topic, so you might find that maybe some of them, like once maybe you are a new mother, you might find yourself you have this mental disorder. So it's like it's the general things that you do in life that you find yourself that you're not even stable, you're mentally unstable. Could be that happened, that maybe triggered that, or you lost your job, and all that. The things that in our day-to-day life. So everyone has been through it, just learning how to live, to manage it, and how to the well-being, like your personal sustainability, should be at around 4 or 5 then.
Thank you so much. We are coming towards the end, and let me say this before we conclude. Let us accept that this is a situation anybody have gone through, almost everybody have gone through the same. So if you experience the changes we talked about, if you experience something which, some abnormality, you need to seek for help. Yeah, and I think we mentioned earlier that it is also good to even seek for professional help. Yeah, so maybe you are in a stage, in an advanced stage, whereby just sharing will not help you. It is so very, very important to seek for professional help. So I'll give the panelists the opportunity to give their closing remarks and any other thing they want to add before we conclude. But to the people watching, I want us to know that we are doing this in 3 segments. So this was just phase 1 where we want to introduce it. Then the next week we'll be talking about depression. So stay tuned. Then the last week we'll talk now about the recovery process, the full recovery process. So ladies first. Okay, you should.
Thank you. I am not ladies, but anyway, just like the body, sometimes you're well, but sometimes you fall ill. When we fall ill, we seek medical help. So I would say for mental health, it should not be different. That when you're going through some mental challenges, it's good to seek help. Sometimes help, when our bodies are not well, we seek help from doctors. Sometimes we tell our friends, I have a headache. And they may say, drink water, sleep. You get it. Those are remedies that people around us give us, and sometimes they work because it could be fatigue or anything. So when it comes to our minds, I would still advocate for the same. Speak to your friends. Maybe they have a solution. Not just friends. You can even speak to religious leaders. You can speak to anyone. Reach out. Just don't die inside. Just reach out to someone and let them try help. If that doesn't work, you can go a step further and seek professional help. Like, I guess all pastors go through counseling training, so they are well versed with this. Saying you can speak to them if you're comfortable. If you're not, you can seek professional help. There are so many counselors around. I guess I'm released a toll-free number where you can call and you can receive help. There are various ways where you can just make sure that you're well. Just make sure that it doesn't deteriorate further. That will be all.
Thank you so much. Nancy, kindly your closing remark or anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, so I'd like to echo Brother Joshua, just to speak out, like just find someone that you can open up to. Maybe it could be your dad or whichever person, maybe this person who's a mentor, like this person that you're free to tell anything, you can even yell at this person and he'll just be there to listen to you. So if you have this one person, everything will go well. And as I mentioned earlier, always learn to manage your expectations. Thank you.
Wow, that's perfect. Always learn to manage your expectations. Brother Joshua mentioned a toll-free number, and if you go to the Ministry of Health website, you'll find the two numbers. The first one is 1199. The other number is 719. So if you're there, you're struggling and you're wondering what are these people talking about, how can I get help, just call the numbers 1199 and 719. As we conclude, my closing remarks are let's keep being positive always, and to the employers, let us take mental health serious and let us give our employees room to share or let us come up with ways of solving these issues at our workplace. To the church like ourselves, let us also create this good environment to our congregants where they can just come and share their issues out and they feel free because this is a community. Thank you so much, and if you're watching this for the first time, kindly subscribe on our YouTube page, Deliverance Church in Mara, and our YouTube page, Facebook page, and Instagram. Thank you so much. See you same time next week.